guys the, thank you, Cindy, for purchasing raffle tickets. Tommy Kelleher with our invitation and pledge.
You guys without invitation, follow that pledge of allegiance. Dear Lord, since we're not conscious enough to fathom our own ebb and flow, help us to bring our best efforts to know what we can know, to love our friends and family, to treat our employees, and fellow workers fair, to seek justice, to help those in need, to be the best that we can be, and to live by our own four-way test of all the things we think say are due. Is that the truth is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all? Amen. Please rise. President pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, like the fall. God bless America, my home, sweet home. All right,
And I always forget to do this, or I feel like I do sometimes. I'm Carrie Suffren. I'm this year's president of the Rotary Club of Raleigh. So with that introduction, I would love to welcome some guests. We have quite a few guests here today. We'll start down here, shape at your table. And guests, if you don't mind standing up and introducing yourself when the microphone gets to you. So.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shirley State, and my guest is President Tyler.
One over here, Michelle, you brought a guest. You mind, Morgan, standing up and telling us your name and what you do?
yeah, Morgan Catford, broadcasting expert for Apex, and we do national programming for financial business across the country. And we brought by Keith DeRuda, who's a very well-known financial and leader.
Great, thank you for visiting, Morgan. And then, Jade, you're a guest with Abe. Do you mind introducing yourself and what you do?
Yeah, hi, my name is Jade, and happy to be here. I'm with Rialto.
Welcome, Kate. All right, I think I got everybody. No, Georgette's gonna come up in a little bit for her second meeting, so we'll get to hear from her in a second. No other guests with that. I believe it's time for Happy Dollars. Did I see Charlie up talking? I did. So as Charlie comes up for Happy Dollars, don't forget the red buckets in the middle of the table, Dimensional Lions of North Carolina. Those funds will be given to them at the end of the year. So Charlie Upshaw, do you have any Happy Dollars today?
Thank you, President Terry. Right here,
All right, $3 here for the 3 triangle teams in the Sweet 16. That's the magnanimous part. Now, the other part is one of those teams has beaten the other 2 teams within the last month. Double that.
There. David, yes, sir. And I'm a second one. Second. Excuse me.
The Tigers making the Sweet 16, first time since 2018, which the announcer would love to repeat.
Clemson. You're speaking. Here.
Just got set the Martin viewers not meeting next week. It's the anniversary of the formation of the Royal Air Force, and also the Force which, having served in the Royal Air Force, I can tell you is aptly formed. And I just wanted the Colonel to know we are still the superior service.
The superior service, the Royal Air Force. You heard it right here. Ah, second I never heard. Brother Tom, I looked over at Tom and John here. It's the second voice in the audience. Yes, sir.
Okay, happy dollars for my University of Houston, they go to the Sweet 16. And I'm also happy that a very fine Texas A&M team was able to miss the majority of the 43 gift shots from the free throw line. And finally, I want to thank everybody who is participating this year in the basketball bracket fundraiser. A lot of fun, fun already. And at this point, I have to say, you know, who doesn't have a free rank as long as you're number one?
You say number one, by the way.
All right. Thank you so much. Happy dollars, President Carey.
Thank you, Charlie. Okay, we have a lot of exciting things coming up and currently happening in our club. We will not meet next week for the Easter holiday, but the week after that, we will have Larry Long Jr., who's the CEO of LLJR. He's a sales coach and trainer. A lot of people in the club know him, and he comes highly recommended as a speaker, so we're excited about that. And then the week after that, we will get our annual update from Summer Wisher, Conway Smiles, which is a big project that the Rotary Club of Raleigh did during our 100th year anniversary and continues to support each year. So feel free to come around lunch next Monday, but we will not have a meeting. Thank you. So district events. On April 7th, there's going to be a screening for a film called Join or Die that explores the phenomenon that our society is currently seeing, where people are hesitant in not joining community groups like Rotary, churches, civic organizations. So this documentary is going to explore that. And Rotary District 7710, our district, is hoping to get a lot of people to go and see this screening. After the film, there will be a panel discussion about it. So this is something that we talk a lot about as one of the directors of the club, and have had a lot of conversations with other Rotarians about this phenomenon in our society where people are hesitant to join these civic organizations. So think about coming out on April 7th to that. There's a link in the bulletin for more information to the flyer and how you can get tickets to the event. So Bill McLaurin, I'll walk over to you. Bill McLaurin represented our club this past weekend at the Boys and Girls Home in Lake Waccamaw, and he's got an update for us.
Saturday was, Rotary Day at the Boys and Girls Club of North Carolina. Some of you have already been there, but it's a wonderful place that the civic clubs came together back in 1954 and built a beautiful lakeside city that, was sponsored by civic organizations and one founder. The Civitans were involved, Rotary was involved, Kiwanis was involved, Lions, Optimists, all have built buildings at the Boys and Girls Home. It started as a group home, and it still is a group home, but they also administer all the foster care in 14 counties around southeastern North Carolina. It's a wonderful place, and I hope you'll go. They have a school there, a charter school that teaches some of the children. Some go to public school from Boys and Girls Home, but the charter school teaches with the help of community college local down there. They teach building trades and auto repair and things like that, that give some of these kids a chance for a career. Now, most of the kids come from social services or the courts. So there's all kinds of issues with the children that go there. The staff does a wonderful, wonderful job. And I hope there'll more people than just me will go back next year. To, if you've never seen boys and girls homes, and if you go to the beach at Wilmington area or South Wilmington beaches, it's not a very, maybe 20 miles from there to go and visit the boys and girls home. And I'm sure you'll be impressed, right on Lake Walk. It's a wonderful setting for children to grow up. And I would encourage you, if you're down that way, east of Lumberton, west of Wilmington, stop in sometime. Just take a look. Call Rotary is a big part of it. Along with some of the others, but Saturday was Rotary Day, and they invite us all in.
How much money did they raise?
They raised $24,000 on Rotary Day. And we had, I think, 3 different districts, each North Carolina district represented.
Well, thank you so much, Bill. A round of applause for him representing. And as Bill said, it is Lake Waccamaw, the Boys and Girls Home is on the way to the beach, and they have a thrift store down there. So if you stop by, or you can stop by, think of brands and items that they could sell at the thrift store, which goes to support the Boys and Girls Home. Our wonderful member, Richard Watkins, who is on the board of directors, his wife is, the CEO director of something called Equity Before Birth. They are having a, dance for, what is it called? It's, dance party for Black Maternal Health Week, which is in April. Her contact info is up there. It's April 12th, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at here in Raleigh, North Carolina Museum of Life and Sciences. So if you were interested, please get off with Dr. Charity Watkins. There's 2 doctors in that household. So, Dr. Charity Watkins, and see how you can get tickets or you can sponsor. Another district event this Saturday, March 30th, there will be a district bottle greenhouse work day at the Morrisville Community Garden. That will be from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And all of those water bottles that we've been collecting, they're going to string those up and start putting it on the frame of the greenhouse that you see in that picture. That's the actual greenhouse that's going to be, or the frame for the greenhouse that's going to be constructed. And there's some Rotarians from across district 7710. There's a link to RSVP in this week's bulletin. So more hands makes easy work. So if you were able to spare 2 hours this Saturday, definitely go out and help out with that. This past week, John Cates, where did you go, John Cates? He's back there. John Cates, Peace Fellow Gideon Kapalasa, spoke at the Methodist Men's Group at Hayes Barton Church. And the men's group, can I see a show of hands who all is in the men's group? Randy Fraser, Charlie, Kirk. They have coordinated they've organized people donating funds so Gideon can bring his family that is currently in Malawi over here to the United States. His wife, and I think he has 2 children, is that right? And he's going to be able to bring them over thanks to the work that this men's group has done. So he spoke at Hayes Barton last week. Surrey Roberts, in addition to those that raised their hands, Surrey Roberts, Randy Fraser, Charlie Upshaw, John Cates, Linda Monahan was there. Hopefully I'm not forgetting I said Randy Fraser, anybody, but they all went to hear him speak, and it was a great talk. And hopefully we'll have him come visit us sometime this summer. So round of applause for John and that whole men's group and what they've done. We're excited to meet Gideon in person sometime soon. As we're talking about the board retreat, can I have Dad, Eric Larson, and Patty Rooney, and Tommy Kelleher, you're gonna be up after, or before Patty was the radical. So this past Saturday, we had a board retreat out at the Suffer and Larson land. And it was a great time. Almost everybody is in the picture. I think we're missing Elsa, missing the president-elect for the Southeast Raleigh Club that was able to attend, Michael Lofton. He's an awesome guy, a lot of energy, great ideas and plans for Southeast Raleigh Club. So really appreciated everybody that attended, taking the time out on a Saturday to spend half the day out talking about Rotary. We've got some really exciting plans coming up for the rest of this year and consecutive years, including some processes. I'm looking at Patty. How do you say it? Processes in place that will enable more members to get involved in some of the club running. So very excited about that, and we'll be talking about it more at future meetings. One thing that everybody can do today, Leslie Oliver gave a great talk about social media and the wonderful things she's doing on there. It is having a big impact. So while you're at the meeting today, go ahead and check in at the Rotary Club of Raleigh meeting on Facebook, maybe make a post on LinkedIn about it, but that really helps us get more message out to the community. Another thing that we talked about was next year, and Eric Stevens gave us a report from the president-elect training seminar last week. Dad, or Eric, aka Eric Larson, president-elect, is going to let us know about the theme for this coming year.
Thank you, President Gary. That sounds fun. President Gary. Yeah, the Rotary has a theme every year, and this year Rotary brings hope. They announced at the PETS conference the theme for this coming year, the Magic Rotary. And that got me thinking, what was that about? Well, we actually heard the story where this came from. The incoming president of Rotary International, Stephanie Urchin, came up with this, and she was on a Rotary project as a volunteer in the Dominican Republic, and they were putting water filters in the different villages so they could take the water that was native there, that was not healthy to drink, put it through these filters, and it would come out pure and clean and drinkable. And the children from the village were watching as they were going through this and showing how to run it. And one of the little boys moved to Stephanie and said, "Can you do that magic trick again?" And that's what hit her, that it's magic what Rotary does around the world. So that's where our theme came from. So this coming year, we're going to have a lot of fun with that. We're going to talk about the magic of Rotary. We're going to do some enjoyable things around magic. And one of the things I'd like us to start thinking about is the magic of Raleigh, discovering Raleigh. So if you have a program of something neat that's going on in Raleigh, a performer or historical area or something like that, that you think might make an interesting program, please let myself know, let Tommy know. Jennifer Rodriguez is going to be our program chair, our administrative chair. Let all of us know, and we'll look into that. But let's celebrate the magic of Rotary.
President-elect Eric, and the theme this year, create hope in the world, and moving on to create our magic of Rotary. So really excited about 24 through 25 Rotary year. So the 2024 Wilson Hayman Vocational Leadership Service Award. Thank you everyone who was on the committee and went through the applications. We had one gentleman who was nominated by multiple people, Jim Dorsett and Duncan Jennings. Joe Burmeister, who I know a lot of you all are familiar with, he is the executive director of Loaves and Fishes Ministry Incorporated, that has had a huge impact on children across the community for many years. So through his community service and his leadership, he has been awarded and will be awarded this year's VSLA Award in honor of longtime Rotarian Wilson Hayman. He will come speak to us on April 22nd during our business portion of the meeting. That's going to be a great meeting as well. We have a local football celebrity, NC State football player and NFL football player Mike Lennon speaking to us that day. So don't miss that meeting. It's going to be a really great meeting. Okay. Foundation moment.
Thank you, President Terry. It's always a privilege to come up and be able to present some full house votes as part of our process. Just happy with that. Part of our process of being a Rotarian, we work toward having folks join and become a member of the Paul Harris Scholar. This is the basic gift of $1,000, and this today we have two Paul Harris Scholars to present. The first is Pamela Blizzard. Come on forward there. Come forward. Come on up. Or as we say in my business, come on out. And which means that Pam has donated $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation and for the work that we do, which is important. Just last week, we heard Kevin speak about a trip to the Dominican Republic, and how important that work was. And so that's partly funded out of the gifts that we all make to the Rotary Foundation. And Pam has been part of that, so we're very pleased to say, present you with Paul Harris Scholar. Thank you so much for your gift of time. In our engagement project to be able to increase the number of Paul Harris Scholars in the club by folks donating their points they have. When they make donations to the Rotary Foundation, they accrue points. Peter has been able to give some points to Paul. Paul Crosser, if you come forward with Peter. Peter as well. It's Peter's points that have been used to make Paul super points. That's very, very good. We now have a total of 63 Paul Harris Fellows in our club. Our goal is still to make Paul Harris, this club, 100% Paul Harris Fellow club, which means we've got about 111 members. So we are at 63, which is obviously not quite at 100%. So we need to work on that. So those of you who are interested in giving, supporting the foundation, you're able to do so. You have some points to help, as Peter did with Paul, be able to donate some points to help another person come forward our story. Please come and see me and support the work we do through the Rotary Foundation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you for your leadership for our foundation and our club. Next year, Patty's going to be the district foundation chair, so he's not only going to be leading our club, but the district. So thank you for your service to Rotary. Tommy Kelleher, it is raffle time. As he's on his way up here, can I get Tom Holder, Richard Averett, and Shakima McLean up here?
Sure. Thanks, guys. I did a number not to have blood on my hands. I had somebody else draw the ticket today in advance. So if you've got your tickets out, you can listen for your number. It's 800-286-8. Yeah. No. Goodness.
That's what I get for buying right after Peter.
Peter is once again the winner. I think we're gonna sit. It won $72 this morning.
Congratulations, Peter, and thank you for your continued support of our raffle. And that's going to benefit or support our Rotary Exchange students, who we'll hear about in just a minute. But first, Tom Holder, I believe you have a bracket up to do for us.
Well, I had the privilege to see the commissioner, board of admissions in our club, the men's D1 bracket challenge on ESPN. We filled up our brackets. We got 25 players. We don't have Peter in there, so I think good job. Lucky man. He didn't go. But just a quick leader update. Randy Mounts is first with his Houston votes. Gary Suffern's in second. I'm a tad disappointed on the final pick.
I know.
Chose Tennessee. That's a sin. And then Mike Green was in third place right now. And we're having a hell of a lot of fun with this. If you make a little contribution, you win half, the club keeps half. Now, I mentioned this the other day at the board retreat. I would love to do a fantasy football league. We do it in Rotary, we do it outside. I've done that with my boys, many of you guys and ladies that play that. Hell, a lot of fun, a lot of junk talking, cut up. And, I'm gonna say my phrase again, y'all remember it. I will pass the witness thing.
Yeah.
Two Mondays ago, I mentioned during a dollar polling, you know, that the look back, I probably will in term to do. Faith means believe it. When common sense tells you not to, go back.
Thank you for working there. So Shane, can you give us an update on our exchange student?
Thank you, President Carey. Yes, my name again is Shakima McLean, and I'm covering now for the exchange, and I'm excited, yay! We have two families. And I want to thank them both the Cates, John and the wife, for being our first family, and our president. So I'm excited. We're gonna have a young lady that will be coming to us, from the cell. So I'm excited. Again, I want to thank you. Okay, so I'm also putting on Thursday. So please keep that in mind. You know, it's gonna be a great year. Thank you.
Thank you, Shane. And thank you for all of your work and helping us finding those families and coordinating, young ladies trip here. And let's give a round of applause to John and Jennifer Cates. She will be going to Brock, that's right, John. Jennifer taught at Brock, and she's still quite involved in the school, so, that's gonna be wonderful in her, getting acclimated to this area, so thank you again. So Rich Favorite, April service update.
Hey folks, Richard Avery, service chair for the group. Just a couple of reminders. We have 2 projects in April. They're back to back. On the 20th, we'll have a stream cleanup at Lions Park. That's a fun event, usually from 10 to noon, do some good damage for the city. And then the day after, the Dementia Alliance, Dementia Ball, at Fletcher Park, we're looking for. Again, all volunteer opportunities are available. We can email. Please sign up. These are all family-friendly events, and thank you for your support.
Thank you. All right, John Luke is stepping in. He is the vice chair of the membership committee, and he will be chair next year. Harrison is out sick today, so he has, John Luke's going to do our exciting membership women today.
Good afternoon, everybody. So we have a lot going on. If I can have Georgette, Grace, Michelle, Amy, Weston, and Richard come up, please. While they're coming up here, we are going to do just a couple of first readings. The first one, since you're here first, go ahead and start with you. So Michelle started her professional career in nursing and trials in 2014, maneuvered into she currently represents Davidson Young Commercial Real Estate as a licensed real estate broker in Raleigh. She's an active member of several different organizations, including Women's Business Owners of the Triangle, Successful Businesswomen, National Women in Construction. She's a board member for Triangle Commercial Association of Realtors, board member of SHIELD, which is an important organization that has defense against human trafficking, as well as a member of the Chambers of Commerce. She is a mom to 3 wonderful sons and 2 fur babies. And when she is not doing all that amazing stuff, she is gardening, golfing, doing some yoga, and spending as much time as she can outdoors. So if you guys have not had a chance to meet Michelle yet, please stop her before or after the meeting and say hello. Thank you, Michelle. I'm going to skip you right now, Georgette. We're going to go to Amy. So Amy recently moved to North Carolina from New York and serves as branch manager for South Hall Credit Union, where she strives to improve the financial knowledge of underserved communities through free financial coaching, FICO reviews, home ownership education, and a lot more than that. In her free time, she loves cooking and finding new restaurants to try in the Triangle. We are very excited to have Amy, and again, if you guys have not had a chance to meet Amy, please stop her before and after and say hello to her. Wesley is not here today. He was here last week and he is sponsored by David Amos. I'm sorry, Amy is sponsored by Richard P. Fritz and Michelle by, actually, Peter, that's right. And now Weston was born and raised in Raleigh, North Carolina, and attended Wakefield High School. He received his undergraduate degree in business marketing from ECU and his master's in fitness administration from the University of Florida. He now serves as the community relations manager for Griswold Home Care. In his free time, he enjoys golfing and watching movies. And fun facts, Wes has had the privilege of servicing as a caddy at minors. Wes, if you're online, please caddy. Second meeting here now is going to be for Georgette. So as a reminder, Georgette is sponsored by Leslie Oliver. She serves as the branch manager for Orbis International, recently transitioned to the Triangle. Georgette has a Rotarian. It is important to understand your why. With that, we would love to hear from you, and if you could tell us your why and what.
Thank you. Thank you. I decided to join the club because I strongly believe in the mission, the values of the club, because I have embraced the same values for over 30 years, working for programs that support needed communities. I travel all over the world, Africa, Asia, supporting programs that help people, help community to improve their living conditions. So I believe in what you're doing, and I really want to contribute to your ongoing success. I will be an engaged member because I want to give back to this community. So I choose to join this specific club because I'm impressed with the leadership. I read a lot about the leadership and I'm really impressed about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Johnson, however, I don't see him, so we are going to have to skip past that. So Ken, if you have not had a chance to meet these three amazing ladies, you need to spend some time to make sure you do that. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, John Luke, Amy, Georgette, Michelle. Thrilled to have got your application to the club and can't wait to work with you in Rotary. What? Social? Jennifer reminded me about the social this Wednesday, March 27th, right here at Tobacco Road, 5:30 to 7 p.m. Please bring snacks for kids. Those are having a big impact across our community. I dropped some off a few weeks ago, and Allie, who is a Midtown Rotarian, said this is a huge impact to our community. So come out, bring snacks, and have fun at our social. So birthdays and anniversaries, since we won't be here next week, we have quite a few birthdays. Don't believe any anniversaries. Oh, we do. So happy birthday, Elsa Silverman today, if she's online. Mark Livingston on the 27th. Jennifer Rodriguez, happy birthday, 28th. And Kurt Warner, happy birthday on Easter this year. And Harrison Turner on April 5th. Also, happy anniversary to Scott and Crystal Stroud. I think I saw Scott, happy anniversary on the 2nd. And then Eric and JD Larson, who became mom and dad, happy 44th anniversary to you guys. So round of applause to everybody. Birthday. So with that, it is time to hear from a great person in the Raleigh area and those along the theme of Discover Raleigh. So Richard Averitt, I believe you were going to introduce his Permar.
Yes. Hey folks, today's guest is Hayes Permar. He's a Raleigh native, brought all the way, and described actively as a local eccentric in a multimedia gathering. He currently hosts podcast Raleigh, where they talk to leaders of Raleigh from a variety of fields. And his main gig now is the head popcorn popper of the Rialto Theater, just down the road. Actually, a little more than that. I personally known Hayes for about 10 years, and I consider him a dear friend. My daughter reminded me today, when we our house about 9 years ago. Hey, it's not all help smooth it, but clean it after we moved it. He's also a friend to the nonprofit community. He is many times used his time and talent to MC a number of events, and he is I affectionately call him Raleigh's finest son. It's my pleasure to introduce these people.
I'm afraid I'm too loud. Is it okay? All right. Thank you, Richard, very much. Rotarians, thank you so much for having me here. So I didn't know if we start by getting emotional, but I want to start by saying my father was a proud Rotarian. David Permar passed away almost 2 years ago, but he was a proud faithful member, and many of you have spoken to about him. I was fortunate enough to be old enough when he started ringing the bell for the Salvation Army that he had to go to his grandkids and not me. So I was that stuff. We did take many a grandchild with him. We got to keep the train as well. The Rialto Theater. Let's start with the history. It was built in 1936. Actually, first opened as an A&P grocery store in 1938, as you can see up there. It's the same building, and it's actually owned by the daughter of the person who built it, so it's only moved one generation. It opened as the Colony Theater in 1942. You see the picture down there with the same marquee, and actually that's the inside of the News and Observer from April 1st, 1942. It's almost our birthday, Colony Theater. We consider that the birth of the change names to the Rialto in about the 80s. But we won't be able to see it unless we get up real close. There's a little bit of a brown cross on the floor that I'm going to show you a little bit later. So that's some of the history, but I gotta be honest, I feel like this is a little boring. We need to pep this up a little bit here. We'll see if I can, you know, with all those happy dollars you guys are throwing out to your teams, and since every person has come up here and mentioned March Madness, I thought I also am in the spirit. I've been watching basketball. I'm excited about Penn State and UNC as well. So forget the history stuff, forget the lessons. We're jumping right in with the Sweet 16 of the Rialto. Can we see the brackets, please? I'm sorry, I didn't say I was using clicker. I can use myself. This is the Sweet 16 of Rialto Madness. The top seed, obviously, Popcorn. We'll go through this individually. These are 16 things that are important to us and that are making the Rialto go right now. And we're going to go through them individually. I'll try and use this one. Look at that. So, maybe all right. The number one seed in the concession region, concession is super important in the Rialto, is Popcorn. I know it sounds silly, and I know you think of the Rialto, you probably think of Popcorn. I've been blown away by how important Popcorn is to the character of the Rialto. If you could sell a smell, it would be priceless. People walk in and immediately they're in a good mood because they smell the popcorn. Doesn't hurt, it also sells the popcorn pretty well. I like making up the story that, you know, we send workers to the leeward side of Pilot Mountain in North Carolina to pick the corn kernels individually from still ripe to be got, but it's not. There is a special little kind of oil that we order, but I think the number one thing is so many people are used to going to movies, and even when it's good, it's heated up. It was probably made a week ago. It's shipped somewhere in the game, and we make it pretty much fresh, pretty much every day. But again, as much as you think you like popcorn, you have no idea how much popcorn is a big part of the social reality. All right, let's see who they're facing in the concession region. The 16th seed is Pepsi. I bring them up because I've actually switched from Coke to Pepsi, which, how many people here prefer Coke? How many people prefer Pepsi? Pretty split, more Coke than Pepsi. I knew I was going to disappoint some people when we switched, but there are a couple reasons we did. One, Pepsi was born in the Carolinas.
You'll see in everything I'm trying to do, I try to keep it local. I know Pepsi's had nothing to do with Carolinas in forever, but it's a great slogan. It's born in Carolinas. And Cheerwine, which you can only get on your fountain through Pepsi, is very much from Salisbury, North Carolina. So we kept it local with that, and I'm a big Cheerwine fan as well. And do any of you guys own restaurants or work with vendors that deal with Coke or Pepsi? There's a guy you use Coke or Pepsi. Pepsi, who's your sales guy?
I deal with Stephanie.
Okay. There's a guy named Jeff Velasquez, who I call Pepsi Jeff. And from the minute I started getting into place, Pepsi Jeff was there all the time, and he was my biggest cheerleader, and he was great. And, I told him about something the other one, and he offered me free refrigerators. He gave me free refrigerators. They'll give you, all the things you want just to be your guy. Pepsi Jeff is just one of those people where, I'm not a salesman myself, but I appreciate good salesmen. Pepsi Jeff is a darn good salesman. So you should go with Pepsi. All right, also in the concession region, we've got the 8C Union Special. This is a cool story. In an attempt to, we very much like having the old school movie theater snacks. I already mentioned popcorn. We do have candy and the fountain drinks. We're trying to add some options that aren't just sweets. And Union Special is a local bread company here in Raleigh, as mentioned, and as I mentioned, ad nauseam, we love working with people locally. We wanted to cook up something that could be special just to the Rialto, that the Union Special only makes, so you can only get it in the Rialto. And we came up with something. My mother is from Permar, West Virginia. Anybody here from West Virginia? There's a food that was created in Permar, West Virginia. My mom always said that, and I didn't know if she was just making this up. Wikipedia, darn if it didn't say that the pepperoni roll, which was the food of like coal miners, they could carry it in their pocket, didn't matter, got a little dirty, didn't need a lot to eat with, but it's pepperoni inside a roll. I know these guys look like potatoes. There's nothing special about the way they look, but they smell and they taste delicious, and they're easy to hold while you have your beer walking down to a movie scene. It could be something besides popcorn. As much as anything, I love the inspiration that coming from my mom's hometown and the partnership with Union Special Bread Company. We hope to have these any day now. That should be hitting our shelves. And next up in the concession region is alcohol. That's right. You love it. You know it. It is alcohol. One of the things that's made the Rialto unique for the longest time, I'll never forget, in 1994, I went with my dad. My dad would go to any movie at the Rialto that was highly rated by the Independent. So we got 5 stars at the Independent, and it was at the Rialto. We were going to see it. So I often tagged along. I wasn't that cool at 15. I didn't have cool high school parties to go to. So me and another friend said, sure, we'll go see this movie. What's it called again? Pulp Fiction. Sounds kind of weird and stupid. I'm sure we won't like it, but it will go. And of course, we were blown away. But in that opening scene, it's very famous. He talks about Le Big Mac and Royale with cheese. But the other part of that, he talks about one of the cool things in Amsterdam is in the movie theater there, you can just get a glass of beer. And I remember there being a chuckle at the Rialto because it was the only theater I knew at the time that you could get a glass of beer. We do still serve beer. We got all local beers on tap. Our goal is to have all neighborhood beers on tap. We've got R&D happens to be right in our neighborhood there at 5 Points. We've got News River Brewing, Brown, it's awesome. Trophy Brewing, we're fudging a little bit because they've actually bought property in that neighborhood. I don't know if you knew. Trophy is opening up a building there, Dickett Boulevard, right next to Aja. So we've already put them in on our taps. And I think we want to add maybe Linwood and some others and have truly all, you could walk to these breweries on our taps. Then we got a little more variety on cans and some of the, the Modelo's and the tall boys that people love. But a lot of the trophy beer, Trophy's going to come up some as well. And then we have added liquor. We can't, Morgan Patrick, we won't be able to make you, your fancy Manhattan with a twist or whatever. But we do are able to serve liquor drinks, which is very popular. And as I've been told, liquor does not go bad. It's in your shelf. It will still sell. It does sell pretty well. I do have a bone to pick with. Is there anybody here that happens to be on the ABC board? The way they're taxing some of these things, the high limit or something else. But come enjoy a drink of your choice. It's allowed us to do other fun things, like have a signature drink for certain nights, have some cocktails. So, all right. In the next region up, we have the innovation region. Those are things that we are doing that are new, or at least new to this iteration of Rialto. First up, of course, is music. What's funny is I get a lot of people who, not a lot, many people are very excited about the variety program we're doing. I do get some people that say, you have no appreciation for what the Rialto is supposed to be. It is supposed to be a movie theater. And I always want to start by saying, well, we should, if you really want to get nostalgic, it should be a grocery store, because that's what it started at. So when it changed from a grocery store to a theater, then apparently we were not on board. So, but I don't have to go back that far. I don't have to go back to the 30s. All I have to do is go back to the even early 2000s, but really in the late 80s and throughout the 90s, music was a huge part of the Rialto. James Addiction played there, Arlo Guthrie, Allison Krauss played there at like age 19, Tori Amos, some great artists played there, Leon Redbone. So bringing music back was one of the core things that we wanted to do, and it has been awesome. But one of these shows, the Chatham County Line, was one of the best nights I've had watching live music in Raleigh. We had a sold out crowd. They've just come off a release show. I don't know if you know them. They have a Raleigh connection. Our most successful nights have been bands that have, a larger name recognition beyond our region, but that have some connection to Raleigh. So Chatham County Line a couple of weeks ago, Kate Rudy, an incredible young talent. She sold out the building. The Mountain Goats played here in the fall. They sold out the place. On the other side, we have Who's Back, a Michael Jackson cover band that came to rock. One of the things that we're most proud about is the diversity of music that we've had. We've had rock, folk music, R&B, bluegrass, jazz, classical. The Embers sold a show, that was sold out show. I know some folks here are familiar with their work. The Durham Symphonies played there, Peter Lamb and the Wolves, jazz, all kinds of stuff. So we've been really proud. We are definitely getting better. It'll be fun to look back in 3 years and think all the things we didn't know about putting on live music shows. Before I got all excited about doing this is bracket, I was going to name my speech. What do I name it? We're really trusting something that's important for us. This guy was going to be wild with a guy with no movie, no music, or no comedy experience, trying to put on a place with movie, music, and comedy. But we are learning and getting better, and the shows are getting better and better. And the artists are always awesome. So please come see a music show at Rialto. It will be a game changer. Music is going up against 13th seed comedy. It's not to take away from comedy. We have the national artist come through. While he was doing his tour, he's absolutely doing great stuff. And then we've got a local act. A guy named Matt White. He teaches classes at midnight. He's been around the local scene, and he's just done an incredible job of curating diverse acts, regional acts, and he's done all new acts. I think you see a lot of the same people. Every month on the third Thursday, we do 5 Points Comedy Night, and he's brought all kinds of acts. We had a killer show last Thursday. A couple people have been coming to multiple shows are like, that's the best night yet. We've also, because now we've established doing it regularly, there's some comics who, they come from New York and try to do a little Southern swing, and they're able to build our show to the act. So we had some people come through from New York in our last show. We had a show coming up in May. They'll just come into our regular 5 Points Comedy Night. And comedy is taking on the 5 seed, I believe, which is Renovations. Comedy was taking on music, sorry about that. Then Renovations. We wanted things to look a little bit different. The Rialto, as much as people were connected to it, we didn't touch much on the inside. We wanted it to stand out. And so we certainly made it pop with our new logo. You can see down here is Rains Thompson, Rains Cullen. It's her married name. I grew up with her as Rains Thompson. She and Earl Thompson came into our building. Got a great picture there of Hayes Mark Church in the background. And then these two knuckleheads, Antoine Pollard of AP Design, and Creighton Bridger of Teaching Bill, have really helped. Basically did everything for our redesign. My goal was to hire really good people and then get out of the way, and I did just that. So you can see me completely gut the building. Just got a picture here, and I think you'll see it up. You can see it underneath that little brown semicircle under the Rialto, the picture on the top right. That is the same semicircle that you can see in the News and Observer from opening night 1942 underneath the water fountain that was in the Rialto. So we really tried to, once we found that, we dug on the floor, we were like, we got to put this in. So it doesn't really fit with our cool new white floor, but we don't care. We're like, that's our history with our modern. And then there's some panels on the wall, right to the, in between the red door and the empty door frame. You can see the wallpaper on there that's old. We framed those up and sort of kept them in, we painted the walls blue and then black and white stripes. but we sort of kept them and preserved them, so it's a really cool, new look, but with a nod to the old stuff there as well. All right, and renovations is taking on what I call open doors. I had some cool ideas when I decided I want to take over the Rialto, including doing concerts and comedy, but I also thought, there's a lot of people out there that have better ideas than I do. Why not tell them to bring them to me? A couple weeks ago, we did a fly fishing and outdoor mountain film series with Great Outdoor Provision, one of the great local business. We partnered with nonprofits to show a documentary about nonprofits and how things are changing in the modern world. This is a high school student came to us and said, hey, we love our school concerts, but we want to do our own thing and do it our own way. An all high school led chamber pops concert that we did. Over here, I'll affectionately call it screw up nights. They use a different word for it. But it's a speaker series where people stand up and talk about the biggest mistake they ever made. And it's cool to be going on throughout Raleigh. And we had hosted two of the biggest of those nights. So people continue to come with us with all kinds of ideas. We've got a sports podcast that's what we think we're gonna do. Again, we've had nonprofits come to us to partner. We had a farming group come to us recently and said, hey, we want to show a farming documentary and have a panel. Hopscotch, the music festival here in Raleigh, we did a day party for them, but also they reached out about being part of this other stuff. So we love it when people come to us and say, this is something we think would be cool in the Rialto. We can say, yeah, let's work together and make that happen. All right, in the next region, it's the people region. People like anything. If you're smart, whether it's business or a nonprofit or a club, whatever you're doing, the people are the most important thing, right? So that starts with the patrons of the Rialto. Rialto has some of the most devoted fans you'll ever see. People literally just drive up and park and on the middle of Glenwood Avenue, hop out just to walk in to tell me, I remember coming here with my dad to see The Wizard of Oz. And you're like, that's awesome. Do you want to look in? And they're like, yeah, I got it, And you're waiting for them to say, and I'd like to either buy a ticket for something, or I'd like to pitch you on, buying a product for me. But they just want to come and tell me their story. Then people are so devoted. There was a guy who helped me drywall in, and he was like, I remember coming to this place. They said I came to the Kung Fu movies with my dad. There was one time I sat down at a restaurant. I think it was at Oakwood Pizza Box, and Anthony said something about the Rialto. One guy said, "The Rialto." He said, "Man, I used to skip school every Friday my senior year and go play video games on the big screen with my buddy who worked there." So like every person has this weird Rialto story. It might be their first date. It might be, the first time they met somebody important, the first time they saw a film that got them into movies. I don't know if anybody here knows Johnny Mac Alexander, but he came to me and he said, "Hey, I got baptized in Rialto." And I thought maybe he meant he had his first kiss or like his first beer, like he got baptized. He was like, no. White Memorial Church met at the Rialto until it opened, and I literally was baptized at the Rialto. So some are more unique than others, but everybody has a true Rialto story. It's amazing, and I need to start writing every one of them down, but it's just amazing how many people just want to come to you and tell you their Rialto story. Next up in the people region is partners. He would love this picture of him. We've had a lot of partners. I am a testament to how great a business community we have. I'm a guy with very, very, very little experience, and I've had so much help from so many different people. Specifically in business that we do now, I work with Cardinal Talent Group. They're our promoters. They bring concerts there. We've also worked with Deep South Entertainment. Dave Rose is a great guy. We've done shows with him, and he was one of the first people that I said, "Hey, come check out this place and tell me if I'm crazy if we want to do music here." So just having his sign off. E-Tix is a really great company. And I didn't know they were local. They're over in Morrisville, and I highly advise using them. Obviously, everybody hates ticket fees, but I'm telling you, compared to Ticketmaster and some of those other places, it is a small amount. When you know how the business works, and you know how much of that money actually goes to the artist, those fees will also cover, like we don't pay for our website, none of the startup for our website or hosting our website, all the ticketing services we need, and they're on call all the time to help us, with any troubleshooting. They're an amazing customer service company, so I got high props for E-Tix. When you see a ticket fee, which is you know, a small price on every ticket, just know it's going to a great local company here in Raleigh, that it helps us, a small business, do big marketing and other things that we wouldn't be able to afford if he takes what able to help us out. So, AP Design, there's one designer again, who made this picture, and Craven Bridger, who I went to high school. I worked at Kim Seagull with Antoine, went to high school with Craven. He was our builder. I love working with people that I know and that I know care about this area. Like these guys do. Dan Barber, who he'll pop up later, is from Barbershop Creative. He's down in Clayton, and actually somebody pointed me his way because I'm looking for somebody to do a rebrand logo artwork. And so he said, Dan Barber. I was like, Clayton's a little far away from 5 Points to be considered local. Nothing against it, I'm just trying to keep it real local. But I talked to Dan and he said, Rialto. I said, man, I spent every Friday in high school at that place. And I was like, you're hot. Like if you know the place, and you came highly regarded as an artist, and you're good. He's proven a great partner as well. Tannis Root Merchandising, they do merchandising for the biggest bands in America, and they still take time for little us to work with, and they help us out. Steve Bass Music has really helped us get set up in the music tech side of things, get a new PA system in there, things like that. And Bill Peoples, the guy who sold me the building, continued to be a great partner. Sold me the business. Is a great partner as well. Other partnerships, the partnership group that I work with, I'm sort of the face of this, but I needed capital obviously to make it happen. I drew up a list of folks that I thought might be interested, that lived near the Rialto and that I was friends with, and I thought might do it. And I didn't have to get far down the list before I got a bunch of yeses. They've been incredible people who are super passionate about it. And also, truly, my partner, my wife, has made this possible. She is an attorney who's well paid, that makes financial things easier for us. So I can take a huge risk and jump in and spend all my time doing this, but hopefully pay off coming a little bit later. So I truly wouldn't be able to do it without her support and that of my whole family. My mom is invested. Anytime, most times I come by the Rialto, she's either coming or going as well. Next up on the people list, the region, is the employees. This is a really cool group of people, and the patrons who love the Rialto so much always talk about the staff. Many of these folks worked here before, in the old iteration of Rialto. I was a little worried they would be apprehensive about the new things we were doing, but they loved it, and they were all in, especially when they saw how many things we were keeping. And so they're reliable, they're autonomous, and they're super passionate about the place as well. They love people, they love working together. They're the ones who have to show me how to pop the popcorn, how to work the machine. There's still things around the building where I'll be like, how does this work? And they're the ones that show me. Jade actually is my only other full-time employee. She's here today. And actually, I've got her in the next group. But those are like our employees who really make the place run and are truly the face of the place, because those are the folks that are active. And then next up for people region are the helpers. I call these, there's just people I knew going into this that people would help me out. One of the first conversations I had after I talked to Bill about the sale of Rialto was with Richard. And I sat down and I said, I think this might be something I should do. And his enthusiasm for how much he thought that I was the right person to do it was echoed in multiple conversations I had. But then, so I had faith that there were a lot of people that I knew would help me with anything I asked. But I also had faith that there were people that I hadn't even found yet, and I didn't even know how they would help me, that would also appear. And they did. There's a good buddy of mine named Will Sherman. I like to call him like the Rialto elf. He has a young family, which I don't know how he has the time to do things that keeps him up at night. But in the middle of the night, when he can't sleep because his kid's up, he'll just be working on draft email that I need to send out for communication. I'll just wake up and things have been done. That's literally the magic of this place. Overnight, people are just making things go that I don't always have the time to do. Then Jade specifically, she certainly talk about this a lot, but she's the epitome of, Jade and I both live in the neighborhood, in separate houses, obviously, we're both married to different people. And I had never met her, never heard of her before I got involved in the Rialto. And through just a couple connections, we ended up talking. She shared the same passion for the arts, for the community, for what a cool thing the Rialto could be. And truly, I cannot imagine where I would be if she had to come on board in August. And again, I didn't know in June that would exist. And now this is a person with much better business acumen than I do, but also understands that small business means cleaning toilets and carrying things around and moving screens, moving equipment, and being there at 3 a.m. after a Rocky Horror Show, but also doing taxes and getting things done. So she's an employee, but even beyond that, she's been one of those people that I could not have known would come along and did, and just working with her is awesome too. So there's a guy named Andy, who just literally my friends were like, this guy just needs hobbies, and he comes and he works on my beer stuff just because he's a nice guy. The local seafood people have helped me out. I've had friends who covered for me when I got COVID. They just sent people in, just an amazing group. So and then I've gone too long.
Another few minutes.
All right, and then tradition drinking, we are continuing to do the Rocky Horror Picture Show. If you haven't been to it, I don't care how old you are, the Rocky Horror Picture Show is a Raleigh tradition, and you can't take it from Raleigh if you haven't done it. It's going up, number 3 season is going up again. Cinema Inc., I was talking about this earlier, this is another thing, I didn't even know about this, it is a movie club that has been at the Rialto for like 50 years. And you can go to their website, if you Google Cinema Inc., it will come up. And it's a group of IBM employees who, when they moved here, started a movie club that now has 600 people in it, and the membership was capped, because they have to keep it that way, it was only 450 could come to a movie at a time. But we were just about to restart them, they're super excited about it, we're super excited about it. Also, Tradition Region, Christmas movies. A lot of Christmas movies, I feel like one of the huge successes of the last year that Rialto always showed It's a Wonderful Life and Home Alone and other ones. We took it up a notch. We had costume contests, we had carol singing, we had snow, we had a high school band out in front playing Christmas music. It was awesome. And finally, the Traditions Region is the marquee. To me, it's the icon of not only the Rialto, it's one of the symbols of Raleigh. And so we put it to use as much as we can for all kinds of things. Sorry about that's the Sweet 16. Last slide, I think. The final 4 is popcorn, open doors, Rocky Horror, and I couldn't decide between all those. So people just goes in the final 4. Popcorn and people met in the finals. And obviously, people make things go to the number 1 most important thing, but it's popcorn. I'm telling you, if you hang out in the lobby, you will soon learn that popcorn is the most important thing in the Rialto. Sorry if I went a little overtime. I need a shot clock for that. But thank you for that. I'm happy to stay and answer questions. I know other folks got to go.
Hayes, thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming,
Yep.
and this is really exciting. Wait just a second.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you for coming here. You probably have some with your dad. I had the honor of sitting with him a few times at lunch, and he's a fantastic guy, and he had a fantastic son. So
Yeah.
thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you for what you're doing for Raleigh. All right, Rotarians, can you all rise and repeat the 4-way test after me? And he said that he would be willing to stick around for a little bit, so if you have questions, definitely go see him. And thank you again to Amy, Michelle, and Georgette. Excited to have you as part of the club. So, in the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build good, little, better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Meeting's adjourned.